Mm-mm-mm.
That was
Like
it.
the lollipop should be lit.
Yeah. Pow, pow, yeah.
That's almost as bad as the one fight that Adrian Broner
Brandon,
had where he was humping the dude. You remember that?
Yeah. No.
And then Adrian Broner lost to him after that.
Of course. It throwed your whole game off. You talked about getting your game thrown off earlier with
Having a dude bang you over in the middle of the fight, that'll throw your game off.
This is prison rules.
That's hilarious.
All right, so I know, Sherelle, we were talking earlier about, throwing in some car stuff in this particular episode.
yeah, let's talk
it's
about
perfect, because we got the car man on here right now anyway.
Days ago, I saw
was like,
Lotus Evora. It was quite interesting.
Say it again.
Tell us about it.
A Lotus Evora. It's a $90,000 sports car.
Mm-hmm.
It's I actually don't know much about that particular one because it's so rare, and yeah, I just haven't really had time to do my homework on it. But when I
Is
saw
that your favorite one?
No, my favorite cars are illegal in this country. Like you just can't have them.
Yeah, they're not street
Why can't
legal.
you?
Huh?
Why can't you have them?
Oh, because the main reason why most cars are illegal in the United States is because they don't meet the safety regulations or the emissions regulations.
Yep,
that's it.
That's why that what was the Volkswagen Golf GTI thing was a big scandal, because they modified the emissions and faked it.
Mm-hmm. They did that with a lot of Volkswagens, and they was actually hundreds of them sitting across the street from my house, because they were under all these recalls because of that. Yeah, but they're all gone now because Amazon's there.
Got you.
But
yeah, and other than prestige, it's kind of pointless to have a sports car in America. There's no place unless you go to the track. There's no place to really drive it.
Yeah. Brandon, you got a favorite car?
Yes, I have favorite cars.
Like if I wanted a car just for bragging rights, to say, hey, nobody's allowed to have this car, but I have it, it would be the Zonda R.
Zonda R. Put a picture when I post this. Put a picture in the comment section so we know what, because I want to look it up, but I'm recording, so I can't look it up right now.
Yeah, it's I think it's a single seater, but basically it's a supercar that is illegal on the street and illegal on the track.
Why is it illegal on the track?
It doesn't meet all the regulations for track driving. So basically, you can't have it nowhere.
Just open up your garage for your friends. Hey, friends, look at my car. Let's put the garage back down.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what? Know what that is? That's one of those cars you have reassembled in your living room, and it's just a display piece.
It's kind of that kind of car. I mean, because it's got a handmade interior. It's totally carbon fiber. It's ultra lightweight. It has a Mercedes 275 M275 twin turbo 12-cylinder engine in it, and it sounds absolutely amazing.
But you probably sucks through a gallon of gas super quick.
What color would you get?
Gas, man.
What color? It only comes in one color. It's carbon fiber.
Oh.
Comes in the color of money.
Pretty much. But it's not the most expensive supercar you can get. I mean, the Bugatti Chiron, I think, is the top of the list at $2.2 million.
Yeah, the fastest production car ever made.
Is that one approved here?
Yeah, you could have one of those here.
Yes, you can have a Bugatti here. That's why all the rappers want them.
Yeah.
I meant like that brand. I know a lot of rappers have Bugattis.
You mean the model of Bugatti? Yeah.
So why? I have two questions, Brandon. What's your favorite car? And then why do all the rappers want the Bugatti?
Well, the second one's real easy. It's a status thing. But in terms of answering my favorite, it's hard to say favorite car because it depends on what category. So we're talking about luxury vehicle. If I had to pick something, If we're talking about classic luxury vehicle, I want a 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Baritz convertible with shaved doors.
Please put it in the comment section.
All right. Gotta have the fins and the rockets and whatever. But I want it to be a retro mod. So retro mod is I want to put, and I know like all the classic car guys will hate me. I don't give a fuck. I want to put fuel injection in there. I want to put a Bluetooth radio in. Like I want to be retro modded out. They have the style of it, but I want all the amenities of a new car. Right.
And they don't like that because it's not the same.
Yeah, they want it to be stock and everything else. But a lot of classic car guys hate lowriders. They don't like all that hippity hop. And I mean, because honestly, it shakes the car loose. Like, it's not good for the car.
Ultimately hurting the vehicle.
Yeah, and all right, so favorite hybrid, the only hybrid I ever would want to own would probably be the BMW i8. I like it.
What about what do you think that new NSX though? That's a hybrid as well.
That is, you know what? I saw that. That looked pretty good. It does. But you know what though? You know what caught me though? The i8, you can get it with fully glass doors. So you gotta look fly while you can't be looking bummy in your car because everybody can see everything.
Through the doors and see your whole outfit.
Right. Like so if you got that thing glowing real nice inside, the neons, and you just got your flyness on, you cruising.
Right.
Yeah. Now you don't have to get it that way, but it does come that way.
For our audience who don't know, which I'm sure they all know, I don't know anything about cars. And I don't really have a favorite, but
when you find it, you'll know.
My Hyundai Elantra drives Hyundais. They drive quite nicely. I haven't had any problems
with the actual vehicle. Because the maintenance on the cars we're mentioning is expensive as fuck.
Oh I can imagine.
The oil change is $1,600.
That's wild. That is so wild.
Yep.
But I would imagine you wouldn't have to get the oil change often, right?
Well, you're not gonna be even worse.
You gotta change.
You're not gonna be driving it all the time. Like that's not gonna be your day-to-day
daily driver. Remember we talked about last time? You're supposed to change it whether it's 3 months or
even if it's
5,000 miles.
Motor oil is hygroscopic.
Yep. So you gotta change it anyway.
Let's say you drive it once a year, and it's a garage queen, right? That oil that's sitting in there has to be treated because if you leave it there, it's gonna mess up the inside of the engine.
So if you're gonna leave your car for long periods of time, you gotta drain all the fluids out.
And then put new fluids in before you go driving.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
if you're gonna store your car for the winter or whatever, drain all stuff out.
If you want to leave the fluids in, you got to put additives in it so stuff doesn't get messed up.
Okay.
Yep.
What additives do you suggest?
Like if you want to leave gas in your gas tank or whatever, you put dry gas in there. And that'll make it so next time you start up the car, you'll probably have to put some fuel stabilizer in there as well. So next time you start up the car, everything will be fine. Because over time, that gas is going to settle and it's going to turn into water.
Yep. And that dry gas, I remember my granny used to have just dry gas in his car. That make your car backfire right there. Woo! Put the dry gas in.
Because that dry gas is basically leaded fuel, sort of.
Yep.
So
I'm learning a lot because I didn't even know dry gas was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you go to the auto parts store, there's this big wall of just fluids that nobody knows anything about. Not even the parts people that work there.
They don't.
So I'm an authorized AMSOIL dealer, so it's like I got a whole bunch of information on all kinds of different stuff.
That's what's up. Now, also to answer your question too, depending on the car, and Shane will know more about this than me, but I remember you watch all the Fast and the Furious movies, right, Sherelle?
Not all of them, but some of them.
But you've seen them though, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you know how they hit the NOS button and they go super fast and nitrous oxide and move on? If you do that, you need to change your oil like immediately next day.
Oh, sheesh.
At the track, there are people that change the spark plugs and oil right then and there after spraying the bottle.
Oh,
Yep.
huh.
Oh yeah. That's immediate, man. You gotta change them out.
Wear and tear. And what's happening is that's a chemical reaction that's actually happening. Like the nitrous is what makes it so it cools your air coming in by a lot, like -50 degrees or something like that.
Which crams more oxygen and then makes bigger explosions.
Right.
So Shane, tell us about your journey with cars? Like, how did you get to where you are now? Like, were you into cars as a little boy? Did it start later on?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been into cars, but not from a technical aspect. When I was a kid, I had 1,000,000 Hot Wheels. My grandmother used to drag race. Everybody on my mother's side drag race. My grandmother had this pink Cougar, and she used to take that to the track. Everybody is into Mustangs in my family except me. Me and my cousin. Now, I got a cousin that's got a GTR. That's what he runs. And then, I have an FRS that's been totally modded out in ways no one else has done. And but I
car's pretty awesome.
Initially got into cars because I broke my first one that I ever had. I really I didn't know it. Huh?
How'd you do that?
Well, I didn't know the technical aspects about maintaining a vehicle. My parents let me borrow this one vehicle for my senior year in college, and my dad was like, "Son, check the fluids from time to time and keep gassing it." I didn't know that some of those fluids are supposed to be changed every so often.
He just checked them up. They're still in there. They're black, but they're still in there. Okay.
So I drove this car for an entire year without an oil change. And then one day I was driving, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we were just coming from the movies, and next thing you know, the car just shut off. And we were coming through from Century 3 Mall. And I was behind this Mercedes, and I'm just still rolling, but the car is off. So I'm trying to step on the brakes, the car ain't stopping. So I stand on the brakes. And when you don't have power assisted brakes, what happens is you're forcing all the brake fluid to just move. And without the power assist, what happened was all my brake lines ruptured, the calipers broke.
Oh, damn.
The entire brake system was screwed up, right?
So you locked up your brakes and broke everything.
Yeah. I mean, I stopped before I hit the Mercedes, which was the goal. But I ended up having to pat the e-brake to get to the shop to figure out what happened to the car. So they told me the brake system's jacked up and it would be $1,100 to repair everything. So at that point, my heart just sunk into my stomach, and I'm like, man, my parents are gonna kill me. I messed this car up. I don't know what to do. So I just brought the car home to my apartment, called my parents, told them what happened, and they just decided to let the experience be the lesson, So some time went by, I graduated, and then obviously I had to move after graduation, and I'm like, okay, I still got this car that's just been sitting here. What am I gonna do? So I asked my parents what to do. They said sell it, and I'm like, for how much? And they're like, we'll let you be the judge of that. Again, letting life be the lesson, So I sold this whole car for $50. Next week, I saw that car being driven around.
$50.
After that,
now I don't know anything about cars, but I know $50 was too low.
I mean, I thought the car was total. In my mind, I thought the car was just simply useless.
And you were a teenager, right?
I was, how old was I? 19? Yeah, 19, 20. Yeah, because I graduated college the first time when I was 20. So, yeah, so I saw that car being driven around. I was like, how in the heck is it? I need to learn everything I can about cars. And from that day forward, I accumulated as much knowledge as possible. And looking in hindsight, I realized I could have fixed that whole car for about $300.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's one hell of a lesson, though. Woo!
Yeah.
Wait.
Because
I remember I had my Chevy Lumina.
Because the $1,100 that the shop quoted me, most of that was labor. It wasn't parts.
Of course. If
I
only
know
you
my
knew what you knew now.
Oh man. If I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have gone to college.
my Chevy Lumina,
Start your own
the
business.
transmission was completely out. And I was like, but that was the very first car I ever got. I got it at an auction. And it broke down. I was on my way to college and it broke down on me on the we call it the expressway. So it broke down on the expressway. And yeah, so it was time to get rid of it. I didn't know what to do with it. And my grandma, my paternal grandma, my dad's mom, she was like, give me the car. I'll take it. And I couldn't even make it across the street without it being like, jerking. And so I was like, Grandma, I'm not giving you, Granny, I'm not giving you this car. Like, I don't want you to be this dangerous. Like, no. She kept bothering me about it to the point where I just gave it to her. She took that whole car to Columbus, which is 2 hours from Akron, to go visit my cousin in jail.
Whoa.
She took it there and made it back. She was like, all you gotta do is get AAA. She said, you're gonna get there one way or another.
Wow, no.
But she taught me something in life, like with that. Like it one is rarely ever as it seems. Two, yeah, just go on and go. You take the Lord with you, and when you take him with you, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there,
I could definitely believe that, because usually whenever I've gotten in tight situations with cars, I just visualize the end of it. Like I'm gonna be home after I resolve this nightmare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that mindset has always served me well. There's never been a point where like, it was ever so bad that I couldn't see my way out.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's kind of like the law of attraction, really. You have your set goal to reach, no matter what it looks like, and you really will obtain it if you really, really hold strong to it. I do believe that. I ain't that great at it, but I do believe it.
Yeah,
because it takes practice to be that way.
I'm just tenacious. That's how I am. So yeah, like I remember like that car that I had that, I told you me and Brandon was driving so fast that our ears popped. Yeah, I had a tragedy with that car. It had burned down because of an oil fire. And